Good to be back right here to do what we love to do, Kylie.
Oh, indeed. And the year is turning out eventful already. We can tell you about what's playing out between the United States, Venezuela, and other global powers, and even countries that are far from it. Oh, yes, we're big on that this morning, particularly because, Jeffrey, we're not even done with the first 7 days of 2026, and we've seen something that extraordinary. I mean, yes, you see it in movies, you see it play out, it's happened sometime in the past, but happening in 2026 is a major one. So a lot of people are wondering, what more does 2026 hold if just in the space of how many days? 3 days or so, we've seen that. By the way, it was meant to happen 2025. So officially, we've not entered Trump's to-do list for 2026, right? So imagine what 2026 will hold.
It's interesting. It's making some of us to reanalyze what the concept of sovereignty really means. So in the 15th century, let's say 1648, what they call the Machiavellian sovereignty, which is basically a principle of equality of state, where all of the heads of state are equal, and you can't try one other head of state rather, in the other person's court or jurisdiction in that sense. Just respect for each other to put out restraint. But right now it looks like sovereignty of state is not absolutely sovereign, because the global dynamics has actually changed. The United Nations is weaker than ever, and so it's now the world powers in the sense of nations that have nuclear warheads, like America, like China, like Russia, and the other big countries that are now calling the shot, depending on who is involved in all of this. So that's why, Kaide, you're beginning to see all of this movement. So it reminds me of 1989, Manuel Noriega, the Panama president. Similar situation. Just
like eventually gotten in 1990, but at least
so they came in, picked him up, took him to the United States to face justice within the United States. So it looks like there's always something happening between the United States and the South American nation. So we can go back in history. So this is the turn of Nicolas Maduro, and he's been boastful at some point, but right now America has done him dirty without the approval of their own Congress. So there's a lot of things that are quite difficult to understand when it comes to geopolitics, but it's not entirely about oil and all of that. I think it's also about the pandering towards Iran that Nicolas Maduro had done. And if you know anything about world powers like the United States and Russia, which is why Putin is on the head of Ukraine, as long as you're pandering towards the enemies or their big enemies in any shape or form, whether it's just in nuance or directly, you're going to be in problem. Venezuela is just barely how many kilometers away from the United States, the south of the United States. So that's why we're seeing all of this. So now we're looking at what is going to play out in the Gulf of Guinea, where we all belong to, as far as the interest is concerned. So you're looking at China, you're looking at Russia, you're looking at France, you're looking at America. Those are the new United Nations. We don't have the balance of terror like all of them have to be able to wade off, because no matter how powerful the United States say they are, and how North Korea has upset them over the years, they can't dare visit North Korea because they know what is coming. So it just shows that sometimes what you're dealing with internally may just be beyond your internal crisis. You are just a victim of the nexus around the geopolitics that play out. But as you said, interesting days. It's going to be more interesting, a lot more eventful as far as 2026 is concerned.
Absolutely. And will help you make sense of all of those issues. What exactly is this Dunroe Doctrine? We used to know it as the Monroe Doctrine. Dunroe Doctrine. The U.S. is in charge of the Western Hemisphere. So who is in charge of the other hemispheres? But not to worry. We'll walk you through all of those issues on the show today. But what is of a bigger concern to us right here in Nigeria is that deadly, very heinous attack in Niger State, Kasuandaji Market. And we can tell you that President Bola Tinubu, who is away in Paris as we speak to you right now, has put out a statement regarding that attack, which took the lives of at least 55 people. Now, the president in his statement said that I have directed the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Service Chiefs, the Inspector General of Police, and the Director General of the DSS to hunt down the terrorists behind the Kasuandaji attack and ensure they are brought swiftly to justice. The president goes on to say that these terrorists have tested the resolve of our country and its people. They must face the full consequences of their criminal actions, no matter who they are or what their intent is. they must be hunted down. In addition, those who aid, abet, or enable them will also be brought to justice. And he rounded off the statement by saying he has directed that all abducted victims be urgently rescued and that security operations around the vulnerable communities, especially near forests, be intensified. He asked that, this period actually demands our humanity, and we must stand together as one people as we confront these monsters in unison. United we can and must defeat them and deny them any sanctuary, the president has said.
I like the language of the president, but beyond this language, there should be action for bad behavior. It's one of the biggest problems we have, and the reason why some of these things keep happening. Niger State has been a victim in recent time. The multiple abductions, the record abduction, now this incident. I think the action of the president is what will speak louder than his words at the end of the day. We've heard this over and over and over. So whether there are people with agenda, people that are sabotaging the government, or just criminal elements that are consolidating or whatever they are doing, we want to see their bodies in body bags. We want to see them face justice if they are caught alive. We want to see expedited action in court to make sure that these guys are deterred from this heinous crime they keep committing time and again. The lives of our people are becoming cheaper and cheaper every other day. And we're speaking to some security experts. They've been saying that this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's very worrying to believe that that is true. But if you follow history of Nigerian politics and building up to elections, you know that that is not far from truth. But what can the government now do to show that their life is not just about election cycle and how to win, because they're already consolidating on that. Elections have already started. Protect the lives of our people. Action from the government. I'm happy he's directed the CDS and all the people in charge. I do not feel that's a statement I really don't like to read. I'm here not because my chairman called me to say, Jeff, you have to be at work. I just now have to wake up. I was on the show last night and I'm here this morning. It's my job. So I don't understand when they say I have directed to do your job. No, I don't, it doesn't make sense to me. Just get the job done. That's my 2 cents.
And it sounds really simple, and that's what the people are asking for, particularly those who have been at the receiving end time and again. And in case you're wondering, Niger State again? Oh yes, the Papiri abduction last year was also in Niger State, just the next local government area, in Borgo local government area, where hundreds of students and even some of their teachers were kidnapped from that school. And now the attack happened in Kaswandaji, which is a Borgo local government area, just right next to the local government where Papiri was. That's in Agwara local government area of Niger State. And if you look at the map, it's close to Kebbi State. Then you have Sokoto State on top. So a lot of people are trying to link the bombardment that happened in Sokoto State. There you see Kebbi. By the way, Borgo local government area is to the west of Niger State, so just at that edge. So you see Kebbi is on top, and on top of Kebbi, you have Sokoto State. So it's been linked that, when we saw the bombardment in Sokoto State, then the terrorists were dislodged and they moved to Niger State. But again, if you link it to the Papiri incident, you remember the president actually in his conversation with Khan said a lot of people are asking what happened to the terrorists. Well, all those rhetorics doesn't quite matter as far as the end justifies the means, was what the president said. So a lot of people are saying maybe if we had seen more decisive action, or at least if there was some sort of closure to what happened in Papiri, the abduction, which is in Borgo local government area, we may not have seen this attack in Borgo. But the point is the government needs to be forthcoming with details. What exactly happened? So people will be on your side in this fight and not begin to say, something is off here, so let me step back. It's important to be
I just also believe that truth is, security issues are not as simple as we look at them. To be very fair. But at the end of the day, that's why you got the job, to get it done. Until you protect the lives of people and their property as enshrined in the Constitution, you haven't done any work. If you like, build anything you want. That's the call it the primary responsibility of any government. So if I also know that sometimes there are saboteurs in the works who just want to make the government look bad. When you lead a country like Nigeria as complex with diverse interests, you must be ready for people who want to make the government look bad. And that should not be an excuse not to get the job done. So I hope that the direction, which I believe shouldn't have been because they should know their job, the direction of the president to the powerful men within our armed forces, the leadership, will get some job done. Kill these guys if you get them in combat. Arrest them. Prosecute them quickly. Let them face life sentences, sentenced to death, by whatever the law prescribes. Because right now, lives are just like that. People don't take those words of, I command and do this seriously. Let's see action, 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 so that the lives of our people can be preserved. Kaidi.
Oh, absolutely. Just before the president now put out the statement which you just referred to, in fact, 15 minutes before, he put out this post on his X social media handle at official Abat. And he said, this afternoon, I had a private lunch with His Excellency President Paul Kagame of Rwanda to discuss the current state of world affairs and advancing Africa in an ever-changing global landscape. So this meeting is set to have happened in Paris. So we're clear where Europe is now, or at least where in Europe the president is. France, Paris. A lot of people saw that coming already. But what got more people talking, Jeffrey, from this picture is the AI badge on the bottom right corner of the president's image, the Grok, ex-Grok badge. And a lot of people are thinking, so is this AI generated, or did you use AI to adjust something on it? But man,
you're the tech guy.
Well, even X itself has put out a community note on this particular post, a context saying that while a meeting between Mr. Tinubu and President Kagame is reported to have held in Paris, the image in this post appears to be AI generated, given the Grok AI badge at the bottom right corner. So for people who don't
know what a Grok AI badge is, what is it?
Grok AI badge is some sort of watermark that helps you know if a particular image has gone through the AI process.
Okay.
Sort of a full disclosure, because a lot of people can't tell the difference between what is real and what is not. So most of this company, whether it's Gemini, Grok,
so I needed the people
and all of that, they always put a badge just there. A lot of people crop it out, but I don't know, the president's social media handler did not crop it out, maybe for full disclosure yet again. So we're not exactly sure which role AI played in this image. It could have been to fine-tune something, remove something, or whatever.
For me, what is still very distasteful from the presidency, which is totally unacceptable, is the fact that we had to know how many days after. This is almost 1 week or so after he left Lagos for Europe. That we've always suspected that he's in France.
Yeah.
France is his destination of choice whenever he wants to rest, take holidays. So I don't know why the presidency will be hiding such information. So what is special about him being in France? We already know he's always going to France. I'm sure at the end of this presidency, we need to count how many times President Bola Tinubu has actually visited France. So if France is his ultimate destination of choice, because that's where he relaxes, he can put his thoughts together, because running a country is not easy, it's fine. But the handlers of the president not telling us where our president is, just telling us Europe as though Europe is one country. Europe has about 44 countries, by the way. So left us in the mood of such. Because when you do that, and this is my advisory to the president, and I'm sure they know this even better. When you do that, you give room for speculations and all of that. I keep saying the president, whether he has an ailment, terminal or not, at his age, he has what we call age-related proclivities. So time and again, he needs to take that break to recuperate, to face the challenges of nation building, which is not an easy job. But you now running it like it's a secret cult, or I don't know how to, forgive my language here. The president is traveling to take a break in France. He's going to, that is as simple as that. Why do you leave us in the mood of speculations? And then we now have to see a picture with him and Kagame in the same France that everybody suspected. It looks like you're taking all of us for granted. So next time he's traveling, we will just say he's going to France. If you don't tell us, we will insist he's going to France.
Until otherwise stated.
Yes, anytime the president is traveling, I'm going to say it in good authority, the president, if he's in Europe, I'll say he has gone to France. Let them say he's wrong. The only way you say he's wrong is to tell me where exactly he is, because he's our president. If anything happens to him, he's our president. So we need to know where he is. He's now public property. Is that what they call it?
Absolutely.
So that's my only, whatever meeting, outcome of that meeting, we're going to find out later. And I think that day meeting, Paul Kagame and all of those guys, gentlemen who are leading Africa, I think they need to sit down and have conversation around themselves.
Yeah.
Some of the old people in government need to go, beginning with our neighbor Paul Biya. I hope they're having those kinds of conversations. Well, I don't want to go there because it really gets me upset, the kinds of things we see in Africa. But what's next?
Well, it's a lot to wrap your head around, but you just look at the, in case you're wondering, what is this grok? It's just at the bottom right corner of the image.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing the grok.
You can see that. That's a grok watermark. So in the interest of full disclosure, perhaps next time, crop it out. Or let us know what was done to it, because it's also important in this age of, deep fake.
Whether you're shielding something.
Exactly. So this can actually qualify, some can say this is a deep fake, or this is fake news, right? Because it's already there. So let us know, did you use it to remove something? Did you use it to smoothen someone's face? Or did you use it to give it color? It's important. So a lot of people don't fly around because, oh boy, Jeffrey, it is a riot on social media for even X, the platform, to put a context to it. You'll understand why.
Those riots would definitely, if the handlers had simply said he was in France, I'm telling you, it will reduce what you're reading. The whole AI team will now be, okay, what is the state of this and that? But anyway, let's get to our next conversation. But